It's time. We're hopping right to it. We're hopping right into it. We're spinning the wheel. We're getting right into it. What's happening today? What will the Meta Black bring me today? Natural laws. Laws. Now, if I recall, the first time I spun this wheel was natural laws, and the episode ended up being about the natural laws of weather and the hubbub, these sentient storms that we encountered. So we're running into natural laws again, which is interesting because as much as this is a solo role-playing experience mixed with a little bit of world building, it's world building, and I want to see if perhaps maybe this, whatever's happening today, is a continuation. Are we going to learn more about the hubbubs, or is this a new natural law? So I'm going to roll. It's a question because I'm curious. Is this by chance about an existing natural law? I'm going to say very unlikely for the sake of world building, something new today. But there's a possibility that this could be world building on an existing entity, an existing piece of lore, the hubbub. Very unlikely. Is this about existing natural laws? Very unlikely. No. So this is something new. Okay. So what's happening today? I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to roll. I'm going to roll up a story. I'm going to roll up some plots here. Wanted by the law. Hold on, let me roll a theme. What is the theme of this plot? Wanted by the law. Tension. Who's wanted by the law? An existing character. Is it one of us? Very likely. No. All right, so this is about a new NPC that's wanted by the law. What's the deal with this NPC? The character is not connected to this plot line. The character is an organization. All right. Wanted by the law. Tension. This is about an existing character that exists. That this character is an organization, though. There's a couple characters that are parts of that are existing that are parts of an organization. One that sticks out to me is who I believe to be one of the leaders of the Jarata. The Jarata being I think a very religious fanatic cult. The other side of the coin to the cult of Plapindo. They oppose them. But to me, from what I've seen with Hemseer Boone's character, or my other character, Hemseer Boone, they seem just as crazy. They are totally against magic and extravagance. It has to be the leader of them. What was her name? What was that person's name? I believe that character's name was... We never got their name. We just know that they were a leader of the Jarata. And they intend to reclaim their land from the cult of Plapindo. And this person was a person that I met in the first episode, or my first session, is when I was entering the Meta Black. So this time we may actually be able to get a name. But again, this is about this episode involves this character, but it's more so about a law of nature, and extravagance is a law of nature. So we're going to say that this is all about extravagance, which makes sense because as I rolled, this involves this person who is wanted by the law. And I was under the understanding that the Jurata were the law around here because it seemed like they had a hold on this anti-extravagance initiative. But maybe it is just them, and they are a minority in this place. Whatever, for some reason, this character is wanted by the law. The last time we've seen this character was inside of Sand City Murfrothrul. Now, currently, we have Chaos, who is one of our strangers who's really good at information gathering, investigation. And Chaos comes to and fro from our base to the city of Sand City Murfrothrul. That's what we assigned. And his goal is to see if there's anything that we can get involved with, anything that's lucrative, any leads to anything. And I have a feeling that this is more so tied to something that he discovered in Sand City Murfrothrul. I think wherever this story is going to take place, it's going to take place in Sand City Murfrothrul, especially if it has something to do with the leader of the Jurata. I'm going to ask, is this from a lead that Chaos heard coming out of the Sand City Murfrothrul? I'm going to say very likely. Yes. Okay. And that makes a lot more sense. So Chaos, keeping his eye on the happenings, he was able to get a lead on a lucrative opportunity, a potential lucrative opportunity, and it involves this person who is wanted by the law. So the law, last I checked, there wasn't any law in Sand City Murfrothrul. None that could be seen, at least. So I'm going to ask, is this law a major governing body in Sand City Murfrothrul that I didn't hear about? I'm going to say unlikely. No. I'm interpreting this as this whoever this is inside that's after this person, who wants this leader of the Jurata. They are not the law, but they're the closest thing that we've seen to law. Are they some sort of, are they a gang? Somewhat likely. No. I mean, I know they're an organization, but they must be big. If they're not a gang, are they a really, really big faction? Likely. Okay. So a very, very big organization, faction, is after this. Okay. So is this a bounty on this person? Yes. Okay. Was Chaos able to get any information on who exactly wants this person? I'm going to say very likely. Yeah. All right. So let's go ahead and introduce a new faction. I'm going to come up with a name based off of how this faction is described. Okay, so this this faction, are they known to be a very violent faction? 50-50. Yes, but what? Gratify evil. Only when they're very reserved. They aren't always active. They kind of rear their heads whenever they're trying to accomplish or achieve something. How else will we describe this faction, this organization? Oddly warlike. Okay. By chance, is this a large subset of Mafrafru's Lost? Mafrafru's Lost being a smaller clan out of a giant culture of refugees, clan warlike refugees. Are they tied at all or related at all? Are they part of these refugees in Mafrafru? Very likely. Yes, and they are actually probably the most renowned group. And is Sand City Mafrafru kind of like their stomping ground? I'm going to say very likely. Yes, persecute / the outside. Yes, and they have full control over what other sister factions, because remember they're these refugees in Mafrafru, these raiders in Mafrafru are splintered off into a bunch of smaller groups. They have full control over what other smaller factions are able to come in Sand City or Sand City Mafrafru. Okay. Oddly warlike. Let me get one more description before I come up with a name for this faction. They're Mafrafru's Lost. These folks are probably going to be something similar. Oddly warlike. They are also probably evil, just like Mafrafru's Lost, chaotic evil. Hastily mysterious. They're very, again, reserved. They don't talk. They're not as boisterous as the other factions are. They're a bit more chill, a bit more mysterious, but they are efficient. They are efficient with how they carry out things. Evil, mysterious, efficient. The largest raider group in the Mafrafru region. They have control over Mafrafru. For some reason, this faction, they are after this person. Now, does this lead that Chaos was able to bring to us, does it have any information on this person? We don't have a name on this person, but does this person have a name or at least a nickname? Very likely. Yes. And what are they calling this character? I'm going to use a generator for this. Bear with me. I think I'm going to use the fantasy name generator, the chaotic shiny for a simple character. Just want a name. Kuva. Kuva. Kuva is what they're calling this person. Kuva. And out of curiosity, the reason that they're after this person does it have anything to do with just the fanatic, just how much of a fanatic this person? Because I remember this person, Kuva, when I met her the first time as another character. She was very extreme with her beliefs on the meta black, and that nothing should change or nothing should interfere or change or manipulate the meta black. But the meta black is just the universe. It's just the odds at which things unfold. It's chance, it's luck, it's chaos. So if you're not able to change your chances of survival by, it was so extreme that they were saying that any means of increasing your chances of survival, it seemed like, was an act against the meta black, and was considered extravagance. And I think for the most part, people in this region, they do believe that, but not to that extent. I think there are people that do believe that there's extravagance, and extravagance again is this world's equivalent to magic. Anything that is supernatural that can increase the chances of you surviving or your odds of failure. So if you are a creature that, if you're a person and you can't swim and you end up in water, you should drown. But if you if you have a boon rock that allows you to fly, that's called extravagance. You shouldn't. That boon rock is cheating. You're cheating. You're cheating fate. So extravagance, there's people. The way I see it is, people look at it as, if you have extravagance, that's out of the norm and that's bad. But the Kuva and the Gerada, they took it a little bit further. They're saying anything that you do, anything can be considered extravagance. So the question is the reason that she's wanted by these people, does it seem like it's because of just how much of a fanatic and how crazy the Gerada are? It's 50-50, because it could be other things. And I'm going to say, the last time I've seen this person, my character was escorted to this town by them, or along with them, and they were meeting someone to leave. So if she's caught up in something, then that means that she wasn't able to get away, is what it sounds like. Or she could be long gone. I doubt it, though. So, it's 50-50. Does this have anything to do with the Gerada's extreme religious beliefs? No, and it has absolutely nothing to do with that. Was this just some sort of crime that was committed? Likely. Yes, and okay. Oh, the worst crime. Is it murder? Did she kill someone? Very likely. Yes, plus event. Malice / possessions. She killed someone, or attacked. She killed someone, and it looks like she had also stolen some possessions that belong to that person. Okay. Or so that's what they're claiming. Murder and theft. How much we getting? How much we getting for this person? Because this is definitely an opportunity if that's the case. Because I think we have a couple strangers in the roster that are more than capable of finding a person inside of this city. It's a big city, though. It's a big city. But I think we'd be able to find them before anyone else does. That would be the challenge. How much money are we talking? How much How much volatile brass are we talking here? How many VBs are we talking? I'm going to roll potency. More. Okay. So to me, more, that's definitely at minimum 2,000 volatile brass. Is it more? Is it around? Is it 2,000 or more? Likely. Yes. Is it more than 2,500? 50-50. No. All right. 2,000. That's cool. So the bounty is 2,000 VBs. 2,000 volatile brass. All right. Is Kuva identified as being affiliated with the Gerada on this in this information that Chaos has? It's likely. Yeah. All right. What I'm getting ready to ask, I want to know how many of us, or if there's anyone in our group that I want to see if there's someone in our group who could find more information out or may already have some information or knowledge, such as Speaker Dawn. Does he have any history on the Gerada or anything like that? Anything that could help us know more about the person or our quarry, you know? So, green, rope use, Lauren, pottery, chaos. Chaos. All right, we're definitely going to be using Chaos because he has investigation. That's how we even got this lead. We're definitely going to be using Storm Ignite because she has infiltration. I think that's going to come in handy. Speaker Dawn's history. I'm going to definitely run a history check. Unarmed combat. We're gonna be definitely taking in Zundist for the for his offensive capabilities. All right. All right. So I'm going to grab the Speaker Dawn. Does Speaker Dawn have any history about the Gerada? And again, the focus here is extravagance. That is the natural law. So I'm going to go as far as to say that even the person that has been attacked is somehow tied to extravagance. It's someone who is potentially an extravagance user that may be known in the city and they were murdered. Just something to think about, just to kind of tie it back to the extravagance piece again. Does the Speaker Dawn with a high history skill, does Speaker Dawn know anything about the Gerada? I'm going to say the difficulty of this is going to be above average. Hold on. All right, above average. or I'm sorry, high versus above average. Does he know anything? Yeah. What can he tell us about the what does he know about the Gerada? Excitement / failure. Excitement / a plot. Okay. So he's pretty much saying that this faction has always been a very loud, aggressive, active faction. Always trying to achieve something, but they are failing to do that. There's a big plot that they have, but they're failing it. And I think that their big plot is to eradicate any and all use of extravagance. Kind of like Templars from the Dragon Age series. Want to get rid of people who can use magic. Is that what's going on here? Likely. Yes, but event / proceedings / the intellectual. Now, I want to use this as this, whatever this is. I haven't even interpreted it yet, but I want to use this as an opportunity to make this make a hard left turn, so it's not as cliche as the group that's trying to get rid of the other group who is capable of so much more than them. How can we make that unique? How can we make that concept unique and different? So whatever is happening right here, I didn't fully interpret this yet, but whatever's happening, I want it to assist me in making this different. So yes, this is a group that's very excited. This is a group that's very violent and aggressive with their methods. They're very extreme, but and they're trying to remove, they're trying to remove these people, but events, proceedings / the intellectual. But what they're trying to do is they're trying to harvest the people's extravagance, all their tools and forbidden magics that they use to commit these crimes, these extravagant methods. They don't just destroy these people. They actually also want their boon rocks, their tools, they want to learn the things that they were using. They more so want to hoard it. They want to gather it. They want to take it. And for some reason, we don't know that much. It's just a history check. But they've been known to always want to take what they get from the people they're destroying and give it to one specific person or group. That I'm interpreting is the intellectual, someone who feels that they can actually they have a different plan with these forbidden tools and objects and ideas. Is the intellectual a sole entity that the Gerada bring the proceedings to? Somewhat likely. Yes. Is it like a single person? 50-50. Yes, and it's an old person. It's a person that's been around for a long time. A long time. A long time. We'll call them the intellectual for now, but the Gerada, all right, it's pretty cool. I like that. The Gerada, an extremist faction. Extremist faction who want to remove extravagance but hoard it for themselves. Their master, the old one. And we'll build more on that. We'll build that out more later. But this is what we got from something that Speaker Dawn pulled up in his history book. And this person, Kuva, they want 2,000 volatile brass for her head for the murder and theft. This Chaos, was he able to get some information on who exactly was murdered? This guy, it had to have been news, so I'm going to say the difficulty is low. So his information, his investigation skill of high versus low. What can he tell me about this? Was he able to get information? Yeah. Okay. And who was this person's name? Shusi. Sussy. Shussi. Shusi. Now, was this some sort of... It's a person that used extravagance? Likely. Yes, but it was accepted. So extravagance is accepted. It is accepted. Is it because some people make exceptions in this world? Just some people make exceptions for certain types of extravagance? I'm going to say very likely. Yeah. It's probably just extravagance that's really bizarre and troubling for, other people, right? Very likely. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Well, we're definitely going to take this. With Chaos's information gathering, was Chaos able to, does he have a lead on where we can start? Or do we just got to go into town and find something? Does he at least have a lead on where we can start? I'm going to say high, and the difficulty of that I'm going to say is above average. So his high, well, let me think. Could we get any bonuses to this? Information gathering. Nah. High versus above average. Was he able to get some information? Yes. Yes. All right, I'm going to go ahead. And this information that he has, is it able to tell us maybe where what kind of lead is this? What kind of lead is this? Refuse/elements. Refuse/elements. Okay, so this is someone who is willing to negotiate information. He was able to find someone who knows something, but is refusing to give us any information without there being any element of trade. So we would have to give something. That's fine. We're gonna head to Sand City Mafrafrul. We're gonna meet this person where they want to meet. We're gonna negotiate with them, which means I think I should bring someone else if that's the case. Let me see. Chaos. All right, Chaos. He has persuasion, so we should be good with that. Which makes sense because he's the one that. We'll probably. We'll pack some things that we can probably trade them. Like I know original Cotant, between the original Cotant and my character, we should definitely be able to trade a few weapons, maybe some pieces of armor. Ace the DM probably has some sort of potion he can trade. We're gonna bring in Zundis just for security. All right, yeah. All right. So we're gonna head there. Is this some sort of where does this person want to meet? Overgrown school. All right, so we're going to meet after hours at a school that apparently is overgrown with something. We'll see that when we get there, but that's what was told to us. Meet me at the overgrown school at this time of day. And we're like, okay, so we're gonna spend some time, maybe about half a day, walking to Sand City Mafrafrul, and we're going to time it in a way that we are able to get there at night and meet this person. I'm expecting to see this person by themselves, ready to give us information after trading, of course. I'm gonna go ahead and roll scene to see if that is exactly what happens. All right, so we're waiting. We're going to try to lay low, we don't want to bring too much attention to ourselves. Are there, it's nighttime. Are there people out here? Somewhat likely. It's a really busy city. No. And event. Dispute / food. We're a bit hungry. Are we hungry? Very likely. Yeah, the crew's hungry. One of our stomachs be getting a growl. All right, so Green, surely he had caught something out there overnight. Over that course of that week, he was catching food with his luring and rope use. All right. With high rope use and luring, he would have caught enough food for us to have, right? Exceptional, yeah. So we definitely got food on stock. So, we're hungry. We all decide, we're going to have a bite to eat. We're going to have a bite to eat while we're waiting. Some time goes by. Does anyone come around that looks like they're waiting for, to meet someone? Matter of fact, I'm going to ask Chaos. Hey, Chaos, did he say what, was there going to be a signal or anything? Did he say there was going to be a signal or anything? Likely. No. He said he was just going to meet us here. All right. Is there anyone around that we see that looks like they're coming to meet us? I'm going to say somewhat likely. Yeah. Are they just now coming around the corner? Somewhat likely. Yeah. So they're coming. We're eating. Chaos is Chaos is going to step away. Everyone else is eating. And Chaos meets this person who is saying that they have information on where they last seen, this bounty. And time is of the essence right now, because currently there's probably a lot of people after this particular person. So, we greet this person. We're going to introduce a new NPC here. This character is an organization. Is this another organization? Or is this potentially a person of the same organization? Absolutely. There's a chance of that. Is this person by chance of the same organization as Kuva? Because why else would this person know where this person is? I'm going to say the chances of that are going to be unlikely. No, it's another organization. Okay. So do they know where she is exactly? That's the question. I'm going to say somewhat likely that they do. I'm going to say it's likely. It's very likely that, that they do. Yeah. All right. But what do they want for us telling them? What do they say? Mistrust / fame. Is this a thing? Is this some kind of thing that they want that they feel would bring them fame? 50-50. No. So they're pretty much saying, they want to. They're willing to bargain. They can't really go off of our word because they don't know who we are. They mistrust us. They don't really know who we are. We haven't made a name for ourselves. We're total strangers. So our word isn't as good. So he's gonna want to, he's willing to bargain to see, what else, what do we have, and then he'll weigh that. First things first, we can definitely offer over some of these weapons that my character forged earlier. And with a high skill of weaponsmithing, I would like to think it was a good batch of a good pair of swords willing to trade, that we had stock that we were willing to trade. A pair of swords with a good quality, high versus making a sword is easy. I'm going to say below average. I'll raise it difficult. Yeah, below average. Or this is a good batch of swords. We might hold on to these two swords and give them the other ones. These are the best two swords I made yet since I manifested. And he can tell too, if he has an eye, because they look great. They look perfect. This should be enough. Hey, with Chaos's persuasion of high and a bonus of 2, because with these really, really beautiful swords. All right. First off, let me say, does this look like they are able to see that these swords are beast mode from the jump? Just off of just what he looks like. Is he reacting to like the beauty of these swords? I'm gonna say likely. Yeah, everyone knows what a good sword looks like. So yes, a +2 bonus because of you don't even gotta sell these; they sell themselves. With Chaos's persuasion of high, is he able to convince this person to give us the information we need for these 2 swords? I'm gonna say the difficulty is above average. Oh, what? Come on, man. It's not enough. It's not. He's like, He's like, you could tell he's just running like a hard part. What does he say? What else does he want? What does he say? Kill / the spiritual. He's like, with these Gerada out here attacking people for no reason. I need something that's going to help me defend myself and maybe be able to kill these people who are spiritual fanatics, or, you know, they're super spiritual, super into the meta black, and he wants to kill them. He wants something to help him get revenge. Oh, is he related to Shisu or Shusi? Is he affiliated with Shusi? Very likely. Does he want to get revenge? Is that what he's talking about? He wants something to help him protect himself or potentially get revenge? Likely. Yes, and so he's saying, like, I need more than that if I'm going to exact revenge. How about this? We have Chaos persuade him to come with us. And when we find her, we'll let him get revenge. How's that? You'll have a crew, you'll have us, you won't be alone since you're worried about being killed, and we'll let you get your revenge. You just tell us where she is. Does he accept that? High versus, I'm going to say average. Exceptional, no. He doesn't like the idea of revenge? Likely. He wants to do it himself? Very near sure thing. Yo, I feel like he wants to he's going to have us go find her, and then he's going to try to jump out of the blue, out of the cut, and try to slit her throat. So when we find her, we got to be careful. We got to make sure it's going to become an escort mission, because now we got to make sure he doesn't try to come and kill her. And she's probably worth more alive, right? Worst case scenario, he kills her, but we still turn him. You know, he's just being a dickhead. Must be a pride thing. Is this organization, are they off this because he's affiliated to Shusi, who was murdered? Let's get some information here. Why does he think that Shusi was murdered? Does he give us that information? Is he willing to talk about that? About why he thinks why he think this relative was attacked? Does he talk about it? Somewhat likely. Yes. Random event. NPC action. Overthrow / military. He says yes, because they were actually in the process of... This person tells us that the person that was killed was one of the many people working to overthrow and militarize against the Gerada. The people don't like the Gerada, it looks like. I ask, is that the case? Likely. Yeah. So Shusi, part of organization to overthrow Jurata. Hold up. And people do not like the Jurata. But this faction is not at all affiliated with the cult of Plapindo. Right? Is this faction affiliated with the cult of Plapindo? Unlikely. No. Because that would just be nuts. This cult, this organization is an organization of extravagance users. Extravagance users, right? Very likely. Yeah. But why was Shussi singled out, I ask? Does he know? Likely. Yeah. But she just that important to this movement? Likely. Yeah. Well, can the movement not happen with her dead? 50-50. Yes, it can happen, but it's been delayed. All right. So he wants something else. Ace of DM has a potion. Probably got some potions that he made, right? Ace DM got some potions that he made. Let me see. Potions worth trading. Ace of DM. Let me see what his ability is. All right, so Christopher Johnson and Ace the DM. Between them both, surely they had to have made some concoctions or some salves. Anything worth trading away? Surely they got something worth trading away. So I'm going to say high versus below average. Yes. Does he accept these to top off the trade? Does he accept them? But a persuasion of high. Versus, we'll say average. Does he accept it? Yes. Okay. All right. Where is this person? Does he tell us where he last saw this person? Very likely. Exceptional, yes. Is it in town? Is it still in town? Hey, what's up, Varium? So far, so good. We are currently on a bounty. Chaos was able to get some information on a lead on a lucrative opportunity. It ended up being a bounty, and we are actually in search of Kuva, the leader of the Jurata, who was the person that I ran into in the first episode, who was supposed to be meeting up with people because they were running from the cult of Plapindo. They were supposed to be meeting up with people in Sand City, Mafrafro, to sail away, but apparently that didn't happen. And now we're looking for them because they have a bounty on their head for 2,000 volatile brass. Turns out that not a lot of people like the Jurata, and actually majority of the people, at least in Mafrafro City, are all for extravagance. The Jurata are the minority. Kuva, the leader, or one of the leaders of the Jurata, ended up killing one of the ended up murdering and stealing some possessions from an important person who's part of a faction who are trying to, I guess, abolish and get rid of the Gerada. At least that's what the bounty is for. Might not be the truth. But we were able to just get some information on where this person is located, and we're about to go find him. Is this person telling us that Kuva is still in the city somewhere? 50-50. No. Turns out Kuva ended up escaping to a nearby ruin. A tomb. A tomb that we had already been to, that we need to go back to. Now I know Varium Gray has been to this tomb. Varium Gray marked the tomb nearby on the map. Varium Gray went and got a head start and was just exploring the local area and ran into a tomb, and he looked inside and decided to come back to let us know. That's the retcon. You got all the way down to all the way down to the part where it needed a blood sacrifice. It was already open. He decided not to go down. He decided to come back and get us, and we haven't gone to the tomb ever since. But it turns out that that's where Kuva ran off to, according to this guy. So we're headed to the tomb. When we arrive to this tomb, we are expecting what Varium Gray last saw. A couple bodies here and there, some cracked heads, some blood, and where he left it. That's true. That's true, because even though we traversed through those ruins avoiding the traps, that doesn't mean she didn't. So we're going to go back there, and we're just going to retrace all the way up to where we got to and keep an eye out for any dead Kuvo bodies. And maybe while we're there, go down further into the tomb. Maybe not that, I don't know, because I want to get this bounty and definitely cash it in. But the objective of tonight's story is to learn about Extravagance. And one thing we learned about Extravagance so far is that it is not bad. So it's interesting because Kuvo was one of the first characters that I met and that's when I learned about Extravagance in the Meta Black. And through her lens, it sounded like it was evil. And apparently that's not the case, we learned today. Just from another person. Apparently, again, that group, the Gerada, are in the minority of their beliefs on Extravagance. Which makes sense, because it sounded insane. It sounded insane. So let's go ahead and look for Kuvo so we can, because I'm on board with Kuvo being turned in. I know if I ever find a boon rock, I'm using it. Sorry, Meta Black. You're trying to kill me. I'm going to need to survive. Simple as that. So let's go ahead and find this Kuva. Back at the tomb of the Sacrificed, which is an unofficial name. It's a nickname that was given by Barium Gray based off of the history that he had read about them. When we head back to this tomb, expecting it to be just how we left it. Okay? That is declaring. I'm gonna get ahead. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna roll scene. Is that what's happening? Is that what we're coming to? Yes. Okay. So we arrive to that first part, the front door. Keeping our eyes out for anything. Do we see Kuva or any trace of Kuva? Do we have anybody with like some kind of hunting tracking? We're going to have to utilize Chaos again. We're going to use his investigation skill. So sitting at the front of this tomb, is there any trace with investigation of high? Chaos's investigation of high. We're going to give ourselves a bonus of 1 just for our perception. We're looking around. We're helping him search the area. Do we find any trace of Kuva? Yeah. Is it Kuva? Is it Kuva? $50 unlikely. I mean, then again, I don't know. I mean, I don't know if I would run and I don't know how you feel about this Variant Gray, but I don't know how I would feel about running directly into a tomb. Even if I am escaping someone even if I am running from the law, she was a warrior. She was a fighter at the end of the day. She seemed pretty experienced. I don't know if she ran headfirst into a tomb, because we saw what happened to the one dude that ran headfirst into the tomb. He ended up in the bottom of the pit. So, is it Kuva? I'm going to say 50-50. It's a possibility she's just hanging out front. Is it Kuva? Yes. Yeah, very desperate to run straight into a tomb. And it is Kuva. It is Kuva. I'm going to say that, she was kind of hiding, not like PETA when he was painting himself as some rocks, which was stupid. Nothing ridiculous like that. She's just tucked under a rock somewhere. We were able to find her, and I'm assuming that she's probably aggressive, right? She's probably aggressive because she's marked by the law. Yes, but she's got to come with us. Is she alone? Very likely. Yeah, very alone. Very alone. All right. So it's Chaos. Who we got with us? It's only 3 of us. It's Chaos and Zundis and Storm McKnight. Now I know with Chaos, he's good at projectile weapons. Tress Hitch is good at infiltrating and alchemy. And Zundis is our unarmed combatant. So if things get a little messy, we're outnumbering her, and we got Zundis and Chaos ready to throw down. Chaos has persuasion. Maybe he can persuade her to come with us peacefully. Absolutely. Definitely. We don't have anybody in this particular group that has the personality to outright attack. We're in survivor mode. We don't want anyone to walk away with any wounds if we don't have to. peace and speechcraft is definitely the way. Now I'm hoping that she comes with us peacefully. However, Varium Gray, I don't know if you've seen that episode, but it was the very first episode when I was playing as Hemseer Boone. She was the one it was her and another one. She's a I'm drawing a blank. The race with the big ears. And she was pretty aggressive. She was pretty mean. So, yeah, that person. So let's see. With a persuasion, she was very forceful about the nature of things. Exactly. But we're about to be forceful if we have to. With a high persuasion of chaos. Matter of fact, let's not straight out ask her to come with us. Let's get some more information. I want to know her side of the story, because they got her sounding crazy. They made it sound like she has murdered and stolen a person's possessions, and it looked like it was because it was against it looked like, what's the word? It looked like a hate crime because the person was an Extravagance user. First off, does it look like she has anything in her possessions laying in her little encampment? 50-50. Yes. Does it appear like it could have been one of the stolen objects or something that doesn't belong to her normally? 50-50. Yes. Remote event. Violate/good. Remote event. Violate/good. Ooh, this is a good one. So a remote event is something that's happening somewhere else. Let me see what plot line it has to do with. A new plot line. Mystery. A new plot line. Mystery. Violate/good. What that means is the dude that told us where she was, and remember, we knew this would happen. This happened somewhere else. This is actually happening not too far from our location because he followed us. This character. Remember, this character said that, because I suggested that we gave him 2 really nice swords that I forged as a trade agreement for him to give us information, and it wasn't enough. He wanted more, and I said, well, how about on top of that, we let you come with us so you can get your revenge, because he killed her, a person that was close to him. She killed a person that was close to him, and he said no, he wants to do it himself. So we're like, why don't you just do it yourself? And he, obviously he's too scared to do it himself because she is a warrior at the end of the day. So he wants to get revenge, but not with us. So we said we got to be careful, because when we find her, he's probably going to try to kill her. So this remote event is essentially just as soon as we found her, and before we cut to commercial break, because this is the type of shit that happens before the commercial break, right? Right when we find her, and we lock eyes, it cuts to him, and he has people with him. and it cuts to him. He signals and he sends his people our direction, but it's not, he's not after us, he's after her, obviously. But why wouldn't he just go after her himself? So we have a limited time to determine her guilt or innocence. We have a limited time to determine her guilt or innocence. And here's another kicker, Varium Gray. I know why he might be after us as well. Because the last time when I was Hemseer Boone, I looked like us. Because Hemseer Boone was a stranger like we are, and was seen with her and the other big-eared folk, the other Gerada fighter agent. What if we have kind of been lumped in with the Gerada? I'm just spitballing here. That could be a possibility as to why he would send. I don't know. We'll find out though. So let's ask her some questions. First, I want to ask, why did you really kill a person because they used extravagance? Like maybe he found out about Hemseer Boone's association after he hired us. I think this is also a good way to vilify Hemseer Boone and make him some sort of like Sephiroth character, which is kind of what I wanted to do. And to kind of play on the opposite end. If he hired a second group, though, this guy is loaded. But this group also, is this group his group? Like he probably didn't have to hire him. They're probably part of his group. Who was the organization that I had first rolled, or the organization that Shussi is his relative that got murdered by Kuva. It's probably their group. Is it that group? Is it his own faction? Yeah. Maybe he wants to see how we associate. No, I don't know. We'll find out though. Did you actually kill Shussi? With the persuasion of high average, do we get her to answer truthfully? Like, do we get her to answer fully with a high versus average persuasion? Yeah. Did she kill him? I'm gonna say 50-50. We're gonna leave it up to 50. I'm gonna say somewhat likely. I can see her doing that. Did Kuva kill Shussi? Exceptional, yes. Is it only because she used extravagance? Is it only because she used extravagance? 50-50. At this point, I'm gonna say somewhat likely because is it only because she used extravagance? Yes. And then she probably goes, do we get her going? Does she start kind of like starts talking about her beliefs and the Gerada and why extravagance is bad? Somewhat likely. Yeah. So she starts going on about why she deserved to be killed and why the extravagance that she was using is bad. Then why is she, if you feel that way, where are your people at? Like, if you feel it's so right, where is your backup? Where's your people? What does she say to that? What does she say to that? Desert / friendship. She's been deserted on her mission over here. But she's happy that she was able to kill as many extravagance people as possible. They are still her people, they are still her friends, but she didn't want them to risk themselves by coming and picking her up on the ship. Remember, they were trying to sail away from the harbor to escape, this region. But they deserted her. But she's okay with that, and she wanted to take out as many of these extravagance users as possible once she realized she wasn't going to be getting away. So she's nuts. Miriam Gray says, feels like we got a pro verse against extravagance situation here. Maybe the guy wants to see where we fall on the political spectrum. Seems like maybe Kuva is more of an extremist than others in the hate magic camp. Yeah, because if you remember the first dude I ran into, like the first dude before she came, he wasn't crazy. Like, he wasn't like, he wasn't slitting throats and letting the blood splash on his face or anything like that. He wasn't the one that was like preaching while he was fighting. So she's definitely a little different. She's definitely a little touched. Feels like we got a pro verse against extravagance. Oh, a pro extravagance versus against extravagance. Gotcha. Situation here. Yeah, I'm really starting to wonder who this person was. Who this person is. And the fact that he's even tied to the person that was killed, that's not a coincidence. Like, I feel like he's on some, like, he's like a political, like, agent. He's a political agent, I think. Miriam Gray asks, can I ask, are we strangers considered a faction by other groups in this area? I think eventually we will be, because they have never seen us. And that's kind of what I was thinking. That if they saw Hemsir Boone with Gerada, and then they see us, and you've never seen these people before, this seems like a new faction, maybe getting involved. So I can totally, because we look distinctively different than other people, but we look like our own race of people. You know what I mean? They might be trying to suss us out in that cause. Yeah. I'm feeling that interpretation. And they're about to get their answer, because I'm not really agreeing. I don't like this. I don't like Kuva. I didn't like Kuva when I was Hemsir Boone. I don't like Kuva now. But I tell you one thing, she's not coming alive. She's not coming alive. So we're gonna have to figure something out. We can try to persuade her. Let me take a look at our abilities first real quick. So we have Enzundist, who has unarmed combat, masonry, reading lips. We have Storm Ignite, infiltration, riding, alchemy. All right, so Storm Ignite, aka Tress Hitch, actually has had experience with the Cult of Plapindo, and the Cult of Plapindo are the Gerada's worst enemy. I think that we should pretend that we are, and we are against the cult, right? We are against the Cult of Plapindo, so it should be easy, but we're going to have Tress Hitch pretend like she really hates them and that we've actually been in the process of killing them as well. In fact, we can tell you that we were just in there, and we're going to have Tress Hitch tell her everything that she saw while she was in their while she was their hostage. Not really a hostage. She chose to be a hostage to kind of get some information and intel. But all the stuff that she saw on the inside, because I don't even think that she, Kuva, can say that she's been inside of a Plapindo tower before and made it out alive. So the fact that Tress Hitch can describe what an inside of the tower looked like, and I think she'd be more inclined to believe her that she cleaned up a tower of these dudes. And I think that might let us in a little bit. And then we can get Chaos to persuade her. We can get Chaos to persuade her. Exactly. Then we can get Chaos to persuade her into coming with us. Drop her guard. We'll get Enzundis to punch her in the back of her head with a chop. We'll get Enzundis to knock her out cold. And then we'll tie her up with some really, really fine rope. Some really good rope that we got from Green or something. So I'm thinking that we'll have Tress Hitch. We'll talk her through. We'll get her guard down with a little bit of persuasion, a little bit of lies from Tress Hitch, and then we'll get Enzundis to chop her unconscious. And then we'll just need to get her from where we are and turn her in for a reward without someone trying to kill her. What you think? That's the best I could come up with. Just get Enzundis. I'm going to initiate the lies. Sounds like a plan. When has a judo chop never worked in the movies? Word. Perfectly all the time. Set your hand to stun. She's about to get Enzundis chopped. How chopped? All right. So with Tress Hitch's information that she got from infiltrating the cultists, she puts together a lie. And I'm going to use her infiltration skill for this. This is deception. This is a form of infiltration. She's infiltrating this person's heart. With a high, supported by Chaos's persuasion, we try to persuade and convince Kuva that we too despise extravagance users, and we are actually in a process of wiping out a local nearby Plapindo tower. We've actually cleared out one of the towers, and this was in there, and that was in there, and their leader we were able to kill. And she does Kuva know what leader we're talking about? Because they had a leader. Does she know which one we're talking about? Likely. Of course she does, because this is a leader who this is a leader for this particular area he's in charge of, and she probably ran into him a few times, and that, for all we know, that was probably she's probably running from him when she was in that first episode. We describe him. Does she buy it? High versus average. Does she buy it? Does she start to calm down? Very likely. Because she buys it. Does she start to calm down? Very likely. Where's her weapon at? Is her weapon down? Very likely. All right. We want to convince her to come back with us, and the moment she turns around, we're going to go for the strike. I mean, I feel like if you're a friend of the cult of Plappendo, anybody probably could have got her respect for that. You know what I mean? Despising the cult of Plappendo, I feel like everybody should be despising them. But she's probably, to your point, she's probably like, man, a whole tower? I couldn't even do that my whole life. Like, these people are. We're going to have to make this a strong chop, though. All right. So can we convince her to come back with us? High versus, I'm gonna say below average. Because she's on a run. She needs Haven. High versus below average. Did we convince her to come back with us? Yes. All right. And as she turns around, we're going to have Enzundis with all of the stone might in his hand hit her with the craziest chop we've ever seen in the Meta Black. Not to kill her, but to knock her unconscious. It's a very defensive fighting style. That should be perfect. Should be perfect. So, it's going to be his strength, which is above average, plus 1 rank shift. It's going to be in her neck, so we're going to give it a plus 3 rank shifts versus her average neck. But her race is very. I didn't even think of this. Damn, completely forgot about this, Varium. Their race is amorphous. You can't even like remember certain parts of their body are resistant to certain things. So this is gonna have to be this can't be a chop to the neck. This is gonna have to be like a strike to the head. We got to hit that brain. Not that we know of. Is there anything in the history books? I'm going to say high history. We're going to give the history a -1 rank shift. Is there any knowledge about weaknesses to this particular race in the history books? Nah. They have brains, though. They have big ears too. So I think that if he can manage to hit her so hard in the side of her head to knock her unconscious, combined with also hitting in her ear, at minimum she'll be disoriented. And then we'll just have to the backup plan. The backup plan is if she don't go down, bum rush her. I was thinking that, but I was starting to have second thoughts. Like, I was trying to think of like, how do we bum rush her? All right, so everyone knows how to use a knife and a dagger and stuff, right? We're just gonna bum rush her and just try to like end her life. Oh, that's so violent. That's so savage. That's so gruesome. I was hoping it'd be cleaner than that, but that's what happens when you're in a new world and you don't really know how other races are. Can you imagine like we're gonna stab them, and then you realize they're resistant to like the weapon you brought? Yeah, if we don't succeed, she'll probably flip out and kill us. I don't know about that. I think in yeah, I forgot in Zundis, if she's resistant to these blunt strikes, Zundis is gonna be definitely at a disadvantage, and I'm not a Chaos has projectile weapons, and Storm McKnight is a unarmed paladin, but she's more of an agent herself. Yeah, we could get killed. All right, we're not chopping in the neck, we're chopping in the head. So with a strength of above average, +1 for the strike, +3, so a total of +3 because we're hitting the soft spot of the head. Does he hit? Does he hit? Definitely hits. It's a critical hit too. So it's going to be an above average wound. Since it was a critical hit, we'll give it a +2. An above average wound +2 versus her toughness. I think her toughness is probably above average. Actually, I'm gonna say +3 so we can get that crit, because this is a crit. This should knock her unconscious, because when it comes to blunt damage, if the blunt damage is 3 ranks higher than the person's toughness, it becomes a lethal blow. And if it's a lethal blow, you roll to see if that person succumbs to their wounds. If it's a knife or something sharp, obviously you die, or you could die from being hit too hard with crushing damage. So we're going for non-lethal here to knock her out. So we're not going to kill her. Does it hit or does it hurt? Oh wait. Oh yeah. Okay, so it does hit. Okay, cool. If it didn't, then we would have said it's because of the resistance. I thought about potentially making it a little bit difficult by a rank shift because of the other resistances this person has, but also that would have been negated by the fact that we're punching it in its big ass ear. So that, I left it at above average +3 versus above average toughness. And Zundis is successful in knocking her clear out. And Zundus throws her over his back, over his shoulder. We're going to have Tress Hitch search through the belongings to see what was potentially stolen. What she finds, is it related to Extravagance? Very likely. Exceptional, yes. Huh. What is it? Trust/pain. Wildly/rotten. Trust/pain. Wildly/rotten. Is it a boon rock? (50-50). Yes. Trust/pain. Wildly/rotten. Is this a boon rock that is used to manipulate trust? Is this a boon rock used to deceive and cause pain? As well as, is this a boon rock used to deceive and cause pain? Very likely. Yes. Wildly/rotten. Does this boon rock change the person? Does this boon rock decay or change the person's heart? 50-50, somewhat likely. Yes, and trust/deceive and cause pain. It's a soul eater. It definitely makes the person, I think it makes the person, it definitely eats away at their soul. It makes them a worse person. But it also gives them some kind of power that has to do with deception and pain. Deception and pain. I think this is a boon rock that uses lies. Barium Gray says, oh, maybe the user can steal the target's personality. I'm going to lean more into the pain side of this. Trust/pain. So there's some sort of deception and mishandling of the truth. And I'm just going to kind of tie to what you had said earlier when you said there's truth in lies. I think there's some political stuff going on here. And Shussi, this person that was killed and had their stone stolen, used truth to cause pain, had some kind of supernatural power over what is considered truth, and is using it to cause pain. I'm actually going to go in the direction of a plot twist here and say that the only reason that people believe that extravagance is good in this town, in this city, is because of this particular person. So I'm gonna say that the jury is still up on whether extravagance is good or bad. Yes, you have the cult of Plapindo who use it in an extreme way, and then yes, you have the Jurata who are zealots. But this person is using this boon rock to convince people that extravagance is good, when really there might be some other things happening. That's all we know about this boon rock, because we don't have, it sounds like it's a good or bad depending on who's using it. Sounds like, exactly. That's what I'm going for. It's raw power. It's a tool. It's in the hand, no different than anything in the Meadow Black. The scales are being tilted left or right. But from what we know about this stone, and we really shouldn't even know that, to be honest, but I wanted to know, a base of what it's capable of, as like what type of stone it is. Because we don't have magic in this world, so it ain't like I can be like, oh, it's a fire stone. This is a deception. We'll call this a deception boon rock for now. Rotten deception, boon rock of rotten deception. Can we feel any effects on us from being around it? Oh, you always ask the good questions, Varium Gray. Let's ask. Do we feel any effects of being around the boon rock of rot and decay? I'm honestly going to say unlikely, because I feel like this is something that this person has had for a long time and has been able to keep it a secret. Kind of like some Darth Plagueis type stuff, So I'm going to say unlikely, because I do like the idea of it spreading. Like your influence does have an area effect. Once you keep it on you, you start to channel it, and it becomes more about, are people near you, as opposed to the stone itself. And now that the stone is by itself, maybe that area of effect is a little bit smaller. But let's see. Is it giving off an effect that we can feel, at least? Unlikely. Yes. What does this effect feel? How is this effect described? Jovially petite. So it's faint, it's small. But we definitely feel a aliveness, a power that is affecting, that not affecting, but it touches, it tingles those parts. You know what I mean? When you get caffeine, you feel a little bit like you have a better mood, but it's not changing your mood. You just feel like if you wanted to be in a better mood, you could. You're awake enough to be in a better mood, I guess. But you feel it. You feel something. It's light. It's faint, but it's something that's definitely affecting your personality. Just not enough for it to have a toll, to take a toll. Varium Grace says, I like it. Yeah, it's vaguely influencing us to make us more pliable, but it's fading because its user is dead and it doesn't have a new user yet. I like that. Man, so far we've only heard of 3 boonstones in this world so far. The one that Hemseer Boon has that allows him to manipulate the perception of what the value of something. Then the legendary soulstone apparently underneath this tomb that sucks the life from people to empower itself. And then this one, this rotten deception stone, which makes you a bad person with power over truth. That's 3 badass stones that are really bad. So I don't know. Are boon rocks bad? I don't know, but I'm enjoying the direction the story is going, because we're building a world, and currently there really is no pure right or wrong. I mean, the Platinum cult, they're wrong, but you know, exactly. Maybe they're modifiable, you know what I mean? Maybe they can be reverse engineered, maybe they can be studied. I don't know if we have anyone. I mean, it's nature, right? So I feel like Ace the DM would be the closest person to be able to look into that, because he talks to sentient storms. Something about these stones could potentially be sentient, especially this one that we have. So, you know, maybe we'll get Ace the DM to take a look at it and see if anything can come of that. So we have her unconscious. We want to get back to town. Are we able to, Varium Gray says, oh wow, that's a great idea. If the user could learn to harness the raw natural power in a different way. Yeah, something. I feel like anything could be changed and manipulated if enough thought power goes into it. Hemseer Boon would find a way. So we're gonna head back. We're gonna head back to the town, but we have to keep an eye out. We have to keep our eyes open, because we know that Shussy's relative is plotting. So we're going to have a halfway point to town, and then we're going to have a second part of that stretch, and I'm going to roll for each to see if we encounter this person. We are purposefully trying to avoid any eyes, because we have a bounty. We're turning in treasure pretty much. So we want to lay low. We're going to use Storm McKnight, aka Tress Hitch. We're going to use her infiltration ability to get from me. We still have to give them a name. There's another faction that is actually a splinter. Remember we were talking about Mafrafarul's Lost? Varium, that faction of people we partied with that night. There's a bunch of other raider factions. Their largest raider faction, that's a sister to Mafrafarul's Lost. We don't have a name for it currently, and we're about to make a name for them now, but they are also an evil raider faction. They are mysterious, they are efficient, and they have control over Mafrafarul. They are considered the like a governing body, an unofficial governing body. They are the law in this case, and they are the ones that put out a hit on a bounty on Kuva. So we are returning her to them. Evil, mysterious, efficient. Murph rules lost. Shadow Council of Power Brokers. Gotcha. We're going to call them Giants of the Sand Coast, because they are also very, they have a bravado about them. They feel they're the best, when really we know Murfafru's loss is the best. But they're going to call them, because they're larger and they have control over Murfafru, they're doing something right. But they call themselves Giants of Murfafru, Giants of the Sand Coast. Giants of the Sand Coast. Are we able to get from the tomb to at least halfway to Murfafru City without any issues from this person that's stalking us? I'm going to say unlikely. Yes. We were able to get there without any issues. Are we able to get to Murfafru City without running into them? I'm going to say very unlikely. Yes. All right. So you know what that means? That means that because they probably saw how we dealt with her, and like you said, they probably wanted to see whose side we were on. If we would have somehow teamed up with her because we aligned our beliefs with her, then they probably would have saw to it that we got attacked, that they attack us or got in the way or something. But by us getting from where we are and being able to get all the way to the city without them attacking us, thing is, she's not dead. But knowing the Giants of the Sand Coast, she's probably going to be dead soon. All right, so we bring Kuva and we turn Kuva into the Sand Giants of the Coast in Murfafru City. They give us what we were promised, right? Varian Gray says, did we just make headway into another alliance with another evil raider faction? I wouldn't say that. I feel like this was more of yeah, because now that I think about it, maybe this bounty wasn't public. And at the end of the day, this was a lead that Chaos got. So maybe it was secret knowledge. Maybe it was a little bit more low key. Was this something that was this lead low key? Was it public knowledge? I'm going to say unlikely, because that's what Chaos does. Yeah, this was just all right. So in the last session, I did some housekeeping and some roster management. And if you go to the website, you'll be able to see that every stranger has a task that they're in charge of. And Chaos is in charge of finding leads because he has the ability called information gathering, or I'm sorry, investigation. He uses in that investigation ability to find leads on lucrative opportunities. And this is, when I started the game, this is how we ended up with this job. But this job probably wasn't public records. Was this job public records? Unlikely. I mean, public knowledge? Unlikely. It definitely wasn't public knowledge. So that means that, yeah, this lead that he got was a very personal job. that he probably got from somebody in this faction. So to answer your question, yeah, there's a possibility that as a result of this, we now have some sort of relationship with this faction. Maybe they feel they can depend on us. So when we go, when Chaos and Chaos alone, we help him, but he's leading the way. He's talking to the people. We present it. First off, do we get the gold that we were promised? I'm going to say very likely. No. Were we given more? 50-50. Exception, no. And why weren't... All right, so it looks like the speaker Dawn exists twice in the standard section. On the website? Why aren't they giving us gold? Are they being nefarious about this? They are evil. Are they being nefarious? Very likely. All right, so we hand over the body. What do they say? This is crazy. What are they? What? This is crazy. Why are they? This is bad business. Hand over the body. What do they say? Why aren't they giving us gold? What do they say? Cruelty/emotions. Cruelty/emotions. I'm gonna roll a plot twist here. Powerful person. So we encounter, when we go to turn it in, we obviously are probably speaking with one of, or if not the most powerful of, what's up, Misha? One of, if not one of the most powerful members of the Giants of Sand Coast, this faction. And he's saying that they're saying they're not going to give us our gold. Cruelty/emotions. And they say that the biggest payment, the best payment, is for us to kill her. Basically, Head Giant says, you do what we tell you when we tell you. That's what it sounded like. And they're saying that we should be thankful with just being able to kill her. It's an emotional reward of being able to kill this person who speaks out against the use of extravagance. Is that what's happening? Very likely. Yeah. I think we have a chance of persuading this person with Chaos. Yeah, I know. That's why I'm not even really if we can't persuade them to give us money, then we're gonna take that L. And maybe try to say, all right, well, if you need anyone else killed, let us know. For to potentially get a relationship going there. But I was really looking forward to the 2000 gold. So with the persuasion of high, is Chaos able to kind of get the leader to, you know, change his mind a little bit and, you know, give us something. Something. High versus. And these people aren't smart. Maybe we steal it. We do have an infiltrator among us. Yeah. That's definitely a job for another day, though. That's going to take some planning. Like, where do they keep their gold and their stash? We would have to like really plan that out. And I don't know, man. I don't know if I'm ready to start a fight. Remember, they ruled this town, and this is the closest town we have. So I like the idea of taking it on the chin. But if we can get them to convince us, screw the strangers. Exactly. We're going to make a name for ourselves eventually, and they will regret this. But also too, I don't fully look at it as, I know I rolled, are they being nefarious about it, but that's just their nature. You know what I mean? I don't fully look at it as disrespect. I more so look at it as they feel that they are the big dogs and that they can do this. I mean, we are nobodies at the end of the day. I think it's more of just them being like bullies. I mean, because we took out, the reward is kind of killing this person. Like, this person that we're killing, to them, is somebody that is a big problem. And so I can see how they would say, like, you should be thankful that you're even able to find this person and kill this person, or something like that. Like, we're lucky to leave with our lives. Exactly. We owe them. Yeah. We owe them respect, and the respect of being able to kill this person in front of them, you know, stuff like that. It is cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, but these people are chaotic evil. We're going to change that eventually. I foresee eventually we are going to start spreading our influence, and we're going to become leader. We're going to take over this town, but that's going to be further down the line. With the high persuasion, I'm going to say the difficulty of this is we'll say average. With the high persuasion, is Chaos able to get them to kind of change their mind and reconsider not paying us? And just imagine he's saying all the right things. Like, this is why we deserve this, and this is why we should have this. Is he able to do that? No. Are they commanding that we kill her right here? Very likely. Yeah. We're not killing her. Handle your own dirty work. We brought her in. She was wanted. You wanted her here. You have her. But we're not killing her. We tell them that we're not killing them. We're not killing her. Y'all kill her if y'all want. We're not killing her. We're not doing that. When you don't want to hold up to your end of the deal, we're not gonna entertain this. Whatever you think you're doing here, we're not. Nope, we're not killing her. In fact, we just leave. We leave. We turn around and we leave. Do they do anything? Likely. Do they do anything? Yeah. Do they stop us from leaving? Somewhat likely. Yeah. Are they commanding that we kill her, or we're in trouble? Somewhat likely. No. All right, then what are they saying? and form/riches. Are they saying that they will pay us 2,000 if we wait for her to wake up and fight her to the death? On some warrior raider shit? Likely. Yeah, and they'll wake her up right now. They want a death match. They want to watch it. They want her dead. They'll give us money if we kill her. Are they going to let all of us or one-on-one? One-on-one? Likely. Yeah. We're going to have Chaos persuade them out of this idea. Do y'all know that these people are resistant to like bladed weapons? You know, it's not fair. High verse. I'm going to say that it's average, but I'm going to give us a -1 because this is going to be hard. High versus average. Do we convince them to reconsider this because it's not fair? Yes. Random event, NPC action, inspect/the weather. So Chaos is like, this isn't. Don't y'all know that they're resistant to like weapons? Like we're not gonna fight. We can't. What? One-on-one. I'm not a fighter. I'm not a. And while he's saying that, they notice that a sandstorm is starting to whip up. Signs of a hubbub is approaching. And they say that we'll give you your 2,000 gold if you have one of your champions execute her in a one-on-one duel. And we'll postpone the execution, but it's happening. They're commanding it. They're calling for her execution by one of our hands, but they're going to let us choose who. Not now, because of the hubbub approaching. And we'll agree to that. But here's what I think is happening here. They only think that she needs to die because of whoever the person she'll see, the person that had that rotten stone, they were using that to spread a false truth about, I guess, extravagance. And maybe that there is something wrong with extravagance, or maybe not. I don't know. But I think by keeping the Gerada alive, something's going to happen in between now and then. So with that in mind, no matter what happens in any other quests, we have to keep in mind that there's something that could potentially be tied. And something could happen, maybe a remote event that happens with her. This is going to be another plot point. Miriam Gray says, what if we say yes now? We'll show you our greatness by fighting in the shadow of the hubbub. Then we cut her loose or something. I don't know if I want to cut her loose. I think I'm totally okay with her being killed and not free. She's a psychopath. And I also ain't messing with no hubbub. I'm just kind of salty that they didn't give us the 2,000 and now it's all this other extra stuff, but at least we know what we're dealing with here. We can address that at another time. It did give us an opportunity, but more so an opportunity to rub shoulders with these people. The ultimate goal was to learn about extravagance today, and I think we learned probably one of the biggest pieces of information regarding this world. and that there is really a fight over the use of extravagance in this world, and there's some things at play. There's layers to this. There's things at play. Why does one feel that they have to manipulate people into thinking extravagance is good? Extravagance is not even common. Boon rocks are very rare. So I don't know, it's strange, but I hope soon we're able to kind of make some headway on the exploration of boon rocks, if not by a stranger who knows how to look into them or use them. But we have one in our possession currently, and I'm surprised that no one has asked for that yet. I do think once we run into the guy that was following us, he will be looking for that. There's definitely a sense of the religious in this conflict, with these factions fighting over rare abstract ideas. Ideas that they don't even fully understand themselves, or they couldn't possibly think, no. Then again, the Jurata, the leader of the Jurata, we also learned, is very old. So the leader of the Jurata, she probably does know a lot about the Meta Black. Man, I got a lot to add. But that's very important stuff in regards to extravagance, though. So I would say that was a productive spin on the wheel today. Varium Gray, thanks for joining me, man. That was an interesting one. We almost got really close to violence and we were able to get out of it. I don't know if a one-on-one fight with her would be a good idea, just because of the species that she is. What are they called again? It's gonna drive me crazy if I don't. This species has a name. The Uck species. Malleable humanoid beings with massive ears and precise facial structures. They're like our elves, but amorphous with big ears. But she would eat, the only way to really kill them, it looked like, was piercing. Like you had to stab them through their neck to kill them. And none of us use swords like that, you know what I mean? So we would have to really figure out who is going to execute her one-on-one. Maybe knock them unconscious somehow and then just impale their brain or something, I don't know, but she's a skilled fighter. We were watching her she killed like 2 dudes in that episode effortlessly. Yeah, good stuff, man. Always enjoy your stuff. Appreciate you continuing the series. I know what a challenge it can be. Yeah, thanks, Varium. But hopefully you and yours have a great holiday. Everyone watching, have a great holiday. And thank you for, taking the time to kick it and watch the channel and this really strange game that I'm playing here. It's a lot of fun to do. It is very taxing, but so worth it when them rolls come out. So worth it. But thank you for watching, and I will catch you later.